Good to go. Hi, good evening. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Eric Gates, Jen's dad. And before I get into some commentary about Tim and Jen, and individually and as a couple, I want to share a few heartfelt thank yous for the last couple of days. Firstly, to Ronnie and Peter for their time, effort, and contribution to making today a special event for Tim and Jen, as well as Kathy and John for exactly the same. And of equal importance, Tim and Jen themselves for making not just tonight's special, but the whole weekend for all those that were involved yesterday. A special thanks to Kathy and John again for last night, because we all had a wonderful, wonderful time. Jennifer Gates, I still call her that. I probably will a little bit longer, but we shared a tremendous number of great memories together. The only thing worse than home movies is home movies where there's no video, so I'll try to be brief on that. But we shared, whether it was going in the car to visit family, going to our favorite locations, or whether it was just traveling to the basement to play bumper pool with Chris, or getting stuck on 128, going anywhere and everywhere. Those memories are indelibly etched in my mind, and always bring a smile to my face when I reflect back upon them. The takeaway from that is that Jen was really responsible and made those memories more entertaining and rewarding. What else? Let me think. Where was it? Jen and I are very, very different people. For the first 15 years of her life, I tried to teach her to be a little bit less of a social butterfly and a little bit more cerebral. The next 15 years, she tried to get me to be more of a social butterfly and think bloody less. So we suffered through a lot of heartache together this past year with a family tragedy. That made us only reflect more upon that adage, hold those dearest to you closely and tightly. We weathered storms together. They only made us stronger. She knows I'll always have her back. She knows her mom will always have her back as well. In addition to being loyal and big-hearted, Jennifer can be feisty. I left 5 seconds for applause on that one, and I mean that in a non-pejorative way. You looking at me what that means? Bad. She's always been a wonderful sounding board for me. I've appreciated her advice and counsel even when it wasn't necessarily asked for. I remember, and yes, we've definitely butted heads in the past. We had if you pardon the expression, a pissing contest about 1.5 years ago in Texas. And I walked out of the kitchen rolling my eyes, and I saw Tim. And I almost said to Tim, Jennifer Gates has a lot of love to give. I'm glad she found somebody else that can take it. I decided to save that zinger for a future time, so well after the marriage was consummated. But anyway, enough on Jen. Timothy, it's been fun getting to know him since day one. Basic blocking and tackling, no nonsense, down-to-earth guy. Like I said, we got along from the very beginning. His passion and his love for his family radiates, just like Jen, for his family, radiates consistently and strongly all the time. He's a guy's guy, with one exception. He's the pickiest eater I've ever seen in my life. So when I used to cook for them, and I come from a family of post-Neanderthal carnivores for the most part, but when I used to cook for them, Tim would grimace to get through the last 25% of his order, the first 25% sometimes. But after a while, when he would come, Jen would forewarn me that he was coming over. I would literally say, we'll just go out to eat, quote unquote. Tim can get whatever the hell he wants. But anyway, getting back on plane, these two make a wonderful, wonderful couple. They feed off each other. Tim's the anti-feisty. Let me try that again. Tim's the anti-feisty. And they feed off each other. They each make the other a better person. They each make the other a stronger person. And we've all seen how happy that they make each other, right? So, I've always been proud to call Jennifer my daughter. I will be equally proud going forward to call Tim my son-in-law. Most importantly, the entire Trahon family should know that we will always have Tim's back as well. And when I say that I mean Ronnie also. We will always be looking out for their best interests. Okay, lastly, Kathy and John. It's been a pleasure getting to know them over the last couple of years. I did, after I met them the first time, I sent Tim a text, and I'm not that well versed technologically as my friends and my children will attest to. The first time I used Trahon in a text message, it came out Dragon. So I sent them a heartfelt, and I didn't see the error of my ways for a few days. So anyway, so I think it said something like, I hope the entire Dragon family has a wonderful holiday. And oh no, but it actually gets worse. I sent Kathy a text yesterday. And again, I'm trying to be endearing, even though it's not my forte. And the word much came out as muck. Now, I almost caught that. So the moral of the story is I just want everyone to know there's nothing dragon-like or mucky about Kathy and John. They're the sweetest people in the world. All right. Now, lastly, whenever I think I'm going too long, I say the word lastly so people think that I'm almost done, but I am almost done. Lastly, with Kathy and John, some commentary from Jen over the last couple of years has really resonated with me, and I kind of put it into words, paragraph. The only problem is when I tried to read it twice yesterday and twice today, I got a massive, massive lump in my throat. So I'm just going to stay stoic, keep my head down, and bear through. Even though I don't have my reading glasses, this is going to be interesting. I might have you read it. And if I get a grimace look on my face, it's probably the same face Tim made 4 years ago when I tried to cook food for him. So, all right. Oh, shit, I can't see it. All right. For you. Hold on, I need light. No. All right, here we go. For years now, as Jen has walked through the door of the Trahon residence in Norwood, she has felt like a member of the family. As the father of this big-hearted young lady, I found Jen's comments in that regard so endearing. And yes, I get a lump in my throat when I think about how welcoming and how loving they've been to her. Again, for many years now. It's hard to put into words my appreciation for that and how much that means to me. I wish I could say that was the 14 pieces of bacon from the breakfast buffet this morning, but it's not. I hope these few sentences crystallize my thoughts and sentiments on the family my daughter is marrying into. I'm so happy such a wonderful and loving family has embraced her. In conclusion, Jen has a lot of love to give, and I'm glad the Trahon family can enjoy her passion and love for life for the next 40 years, 50 years, or 60 years. Anyway, lastly, a toast. A toast. Actually, what I was going to say, and I bungled it, was Jennifer has a lot of love to give, and I'm glad she found another family that can take it, is what I meant to say. All right, a quick toast. Everybody raise their glass. St. Augustine said, inasmuch as love grows around you, so beauty grows. For love is the beauty of the soul. So Tim and Jen, may your love of family, may your love of life, may your love for one another, and your faith in an all-loving God be your foundation and guideposts for the ensuing decades. And may your future shine even brighter than the Texas sun shined today.
All right, everybody. So before I begin, I too, like Eric, I want to give a big thank you to the bride and groom's family for hosting a beautiful wedding weekend. It was so much fun last night. It was very cool to be able to see the bull riding, you know? It was a very nice night overall. Jenny, I think you look absolutely stunning today. You were beautiful, beautiful bride. Beautiful. And T, handsome as ever, always. I've known Jen. We met when I was a freshman, when we were freshmen in high school. We met in our freshman photo class. we hit it off right away. We used to chat on the phone for hours all the time, and we would spend every weekend together. We really were inseparable. So when I think about like our friendship and a story that is meaningful to me, I think about you came with me to Florida for a February vacation. So a whole week together that we spent, and really nice time. You know, we come back home. We decide that night too to have a sleepover together. And we're riding to school the next day in Jen's red Volvo, and and Jen, we were like both giggly, and then I looked at Jen and I'm like, what? And she's like, I thought I would be sick of you by now. And I was kind of like, me too, but we weren't, you know? And it was really nice, and honestly, it's pretty true still to this day, you know? For the most part, I don't know. But obviously, we've been through so many things together, some really difficult times, some wonderful times, and T, you know, I've known Jen since before you and now after you, and you have really helped bring Jen to be a lighter, happier version of herself, and that's been really wonderful to see. And I know a lot of the time we have fun at Jen's expense, which has been very nice. I think about this time, so Katie and I had planned a trip to surprise Jen for her birthday. So I arrived first, and Tim and I had this plan that we were going to surprise Jen when he picked her up from work. So the plan was that I was going to hide in the trunk, and they were going to have casual conversation for a period of time, and then the key word was train tracks. So when Tim mentioned train tracks in the conversation is when I would hop out of the trunk and surprise Jen. So 5 minutes passed by. 10 minutes passed by. Like crunched in the trunk, like, did I forget the word? Is it railroad, train track? I don't know. Like, come on, you know, chit chat, whatever. So then Tim mentions train track. So I leap out of the trunk. I think I land my elbows on the center console. Jen nearly throws Sadie out of the window, completely down the whole way. It was crazy, but it was so funny too. I mean, it's so wonderful. We just have the three of us. I've spent so much time with you guys and always had such a wonderful time, and I love you both very much. And Jenny, I love you so, so much, and it's been so wonderful seeing you grow together and everything, and you guys just mean very much to me. So I have this poem, this little thing that I wanted to read. I did tweak it a little bit, but and I won't lie. So the priest, the father, he read part of this poem that I wanted to read earlier. So, anyways, this is my thought about what my hope is for you guys moving forward, and it is meaningful. So, a good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It's things like coming home to a cooked dinner after a long day of work, or getting your feet rubbed without asking when you've had a rough day. A good marriage is about balance. It's about compromise. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is having the capacity to forgive and to be able to move forward. It's about being each other's biggest advocate and fiercest protector. And it's more than marrying the right person, it's being the right partner. And so I wish you guys very much a lifetime of happiness. And so now if I can ask everyone to raise their glass, please, for cheers. I love you guys. I wish you, again, the happiest health, wealth, and happiness. I love you guys. Cheers. Cheers, Steve.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jim Trahon. I'm one of Tim's older brothers. For those who don't know, like that in the back. For those who don't know, Tim and I were the two youngest siblings in our family. We're less than 2 years apart. Actually, in fact, the oldest, Terry, to the youngest, Tim, the age difference is only 6 years. So 5 kids in 6 years, which means, growing up, we were all very close. Also means my parents were really crazy in love in the early 80s. So, being so close in age, Tim, we did a lot together. Same schools, sports, even had the great pleasure of sharing a room with him. So, Jen, I totally understand and experience what you're going through. From the noises he makes at night, it's almost impossible to wake him up. Cleanliness, and he tries to wear your clothes. So, in all seriousness, Tim's my best friend. We had a great childhood growing up. Even to this day, even we're states or countries apart, I can always trust in Tim and moral support, and even better, just a really good laugh. And everyone who knows Tim has experienced his ability to make people laugh and be the life of the party. And when he met Jen, I didn't think it was possible to have a couple to basically just make everyone in the party feel like, they feel better. They feel they want to be with him more. And it just stinks that they're in Texas all the time. But I'm glad we're all here tonight with you, a special moment. Tim, I love you. Jen, I'm not going to say welcome to the family because I feel like you've been a part of the family for a long time now. But I'm very happy to call you my sister-in-law now. So everybody raise your glasses and cheers to the happy couple.
All right, cheers.